National Executive Committee declares the theme for 2021 to be Unity, Renewal, and Reconstruction in the year of Charlotte Maxeke.
The past year has been challenging for all of us. The coronavirus and its impact has been felt the world over. But the strength of the South African people has always been measured by its resilience and fortitude, and the willingness to unite and stand together. The African National Congress proudly presents the Progressive Business Forum, the platform to herald a new dawn for the South African economy. Bringing accountability, transparency, and opportunity to the business community, and striving to give effect to the call for a social compact with business, the Progressive Business Forum harnesses the power of technology, making it easier than ever before to unlock your business's potential. As a truly inclusive portal for all, your inputs are now able to reach the highest level of attention of our ANC leadership and government leaders, connecting you to an economic hub bursting with possibilities. It's a new modern look, underpinned by a traditional set of values that puts you, our subscribers, first. So, how can you be a part of it? Simple. Sign in, enter your business's details, and choose the package that best represents your company's goals. Our platform is safe, easy to use, POPIA compliant, and joining gains you access to a galaxy of benefits. From exclusive ministerial networking events to world-class webinars, workshops, skills training, trade facilitation, women in business, and so much more, the Progressive Business Forum platform becomes your gateway to a future never dreamed possible. Together, let's resolve the challenges facing our country and build a prosperous future. South Africa is ready to grow. Are you?
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Deputy Minister in the Presidency for Planning and Monitoring and Evaluation, Honorable Pinky Kekana. Deputy Minister in the Department of Digital Communication and Mass Media, the ex-Deputy Minister, Mr. Nokovi. The trade representatives of the Russian Federation, His Excellency Borivi, the trade representations of Russian Federation in the Republic of South Africa, Mr. S.V. Pikonov, the member of the President of all Russian public organization, the Business Russia Business Ambassador to South Africa, Mr. A.A. Nadobi, the representatives of the Russian Business Organization, the South African business representatives that are present, our panelists, the CEO of Likwezi Consulting, Mr. Gwala from CEO of Solk Road, the head of Intel Hub South Africa, Mr. Silepe, the CEO of Black Business Council, Mr. Matabane, honored guests from Parliament, the representatives from Government Department, the representatives from MTN, CELC, the leadership and employees of the relevant departments in the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russian Federation, and the Ministry of Digital Industry of the Russian Federation, the leadership of domestic software, the leadership of the Rostov Association from Russia, the Russian business in South Africa, the company's pool of JSE, the company's pool of the RF Trade Mission in South Africa, PBF business subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. This is a critical and a special occasion. For the first time, we have such a large international audience and participation, and we are honored to have such distinguished list of participants from our respective countries. We'd like to welcome all our honored guests with us today, joining us direct from Russia, where it is 1 hour ahead of South African time. I say to you, Dobre Obre Ovajki Gosti. Our recent engagement with Excellency, the Ambassador to South Africa, Mr. Rokavi, and his trade representative's office in South Africa has led to holding of this joint webinar. It is the product of our joint commitment to exploring and promoting enhanced business opportunities between the businesses of the two countries. In our engagement with the ambassador, we agreed that we need to strengthen this working relationship between South African business and the Russian business. Just to share with the audience today, a little bit about the Progressive Business Forum. The Progressive Business Forum is a program of the African National Congress under the leadership of the ANC Treasurer General, Comrade Paul Mashatile, who have tendered his apology. This program is mandated to promote and enhance liaison between government, the ANC, and the business. We have a long program today until 12 South African time, and we're keen to hear from everyone. We have also have translations today and want to thank our translators in advance for their professionalism and their participation. Just to take you through in terms of the program, how it's going to flow in some of the logistical arrangement. We'll have the guest sessions. We'll have the first session where we'll have the engagements, the political program that is going to be chaired, that is going to be led by the Honorable Minister and the leadership from Russia. Then we'll have the second session that will see the formal remarks and an engagement from the business side of South Africa. The second session is going to be co-chaired by myself and is also going to reach the Russian head of trade representatives office. Session 2 will have the business dialogue where different representatives are going to be engaging. We're hoping that this program is going to go until 12 o'clock South African time and 1 o'clock Russian time. Without waste of time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite the remarks by the Deputy Minister in the Department of Digital and Development Communication and Mass Media from Russian Federation. Thank you.
Dear colleagues, in today's fast-paced world that we have in terms of the fourth industrial revolution, the information and communication technologies have become an integral part of our everyday life. Recognizing the necessity of implementing modern technologies to make our economies stand in line with up-to-date trends, we believe that the agenda of our meeting will support and develop the strategic partnership between our countries declared by President Vladimir Putin and President Cyril Ramaphosa. Being all familiar with emerging ICT issues of the South African market, as well as aware of a current maturity level of the Russian ICT developers, we have no hesitation in fruitful prospects of cooperation between Russian and South African stakeholders in the field of modern technologies. Russian high-tech solutions are among the most advanced in the world, and some of our high-tech sectors are considered the most developed and can be characterized as unattainable for the main competitors now. We would like to add that South African software market remains highly customer-oriented and highly competitive, driven by the most in-demand industries, namely the financial sector, the retail sector, and the telecommunications sector, where even a small optimization of processes can be a tangible competitive advantage. Further, following the program of our today's event, my colleagues will present in greater details their ideas and proposals based on our understanding of the current needs of the South African market for modern technologies, as well as present several examples of potentially promising Russian solutions for the local market. And today at our conference we have Konstantin Noskov, former Russian ICT minister, who is the head of Rus High-Tech Expert, which can be a window to access Russian technologies. We would like to once again warmly welcome current initiative and wish all stakeholders mutually beneficial engagements.
From I was liaising with my counterpart from Russia. I thought I was taking over. Thank you for the input and the message from the Ministry of Digital Communication from Russia. Let me invite the Deputy Minister, Honorable Comrade Pinky Kekane, to give us an input. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Comrade Sipho. Let me recognize the Deputy Minister of the Department of Digital Development, Communications, and Mass Media of the Russian Federation, Honorable B. Cherkesova, former Minister of the Department of Digital Development, Communications, and Mass Media of the Russian Federation, K.Y. Noskov, trade representatives of the Russian Federation, His Excellency M.Y. Beriv, the ANC Progressive Business Forum convener, who's also our program director, but also recognize the representatives of Russian and South African organizations from business and other entities present here today, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Information and communication technology is an impetus for economic growth and development, both in Africa and Russia. If there is one thing COVID-19 did for the world positively, was to fast track the world of ICT where it connects with humanity. Africa is considered an emerging frontier economy that was gradually becoming a gold miner of the fourth industrial revolution, or Industry 4.0, not just precious metal and minerals. COVID-19 leapfrogged much of Africa's ICT capacity, but especially so in South Africa. ICT has long been identified as a leverageable tool to achieve sustainable economic growth and development. Mobile telecommunication is growing faster than any other telecommunication indicators across Africa, and ICT penetration has positive impact on economic growth and development in Africa. But investment in the infrastructure of ICT across the country to ensure connectivity is what will fully tap into the optimal impetus of ICT penetration for economic growth and development across the continent, and especially so in countries like South Africa, who focuses on industrialization for our future growth. Since the late 1990s, South Africa has experienced an upward swing in terms of ICT infrastructural development, when most African economies deregulated and liberalized the telecommunications sector. The market forces, through the interaction of demand and supply, have stimulated telecommunications infrastructural investment in Africa. Investors around the world see Africa as an investment hub and destination due to the availability of markets in terms of population and emerging markets in terms of a higher rate of return on investment. South Africa, in this slide, holds the record for the highest return on investment because of its current and future plans for ICT infrastructure and investment opportunities for investors. During the past 2 decades, the telecommunications sector in South Africa has experienced radical technical and productivity challenges due to the technological revolution associated with the development of wireless mobile communication system and the liberalization process. This has attracted a large amount of investment capital from both the public and the private sectors. And as a result, total mobile penetration has more than doubled since 2000 And today, we have arguably more mobile communication than fixed lines, allowing economic activities to progress and thrive due to this almost complete reliance on ICT as an enabler. And program director, in as much as we see technology as an impetus for economic growth, the cost to communicate is still high. There are interventions, of course, by our own regulator, which is ICASA, to zero-rate education programs and government information for easy access, especially for previously disadvantaged communities. Our regulator, especially ICASA, it's now embarking on spectrum auction. It is busy with spectrum licensing process, and the auction is aimed to commence in March 2022. All litigations have been resolved, and public consultation process on the auction process closes today, which is the 30th of November, by 16 hours. That's one of the progress that we have in as far as the auction for the spectrum is concerned. The other issue is on the WOAN, which is the Wireless Open Access Network. The licensing process is still proceeding, and ICASA will be conducting further international studies to learn how best to configure the WOAN for success. The WOAN is also aimed at enabling transformation in the sector by introducing a new credible wholesale operator. And this will also be announced by ICASA next year on the steps that will be taken by our regulator. Going forward, Program Director, there is also a massive focus on sustainable energy and the green economy as our central area of growth for the South African government. COP26 ended with an investment injection into South Africa described by His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa as a watershed moment of $8.5 billion US dollars to help end our reliance on coal for energy and electricity. We cannot speak of sustainability without speaking of digitalization, as each are two parts of the same whole. Our country is currently a major emitter of greenhouse gases as a result of this reliance on coal for electricity. The deal funded by the wealthier nations after a call by our president for these nations to step up and fund the reversal of their infrastructure when they historically colonized Africa have both global and local implications. The vast scale of coal operation run by the country's state power company, Eskom, makes South Africa the 12th biggest carbon dioxide emitter in the world, according to the Global Carbon Atlas. And we hope that this latest deal could ease the large-scale environmental and health impacts of the power sector as much as it is an opportunity for infrastructure development. For more than a decade, South Africa has experienced periods of planned blackouts intended to ease the pressure on the electricity grid, which we refer to as load shedding. The power problems have suffocated economic growth in a country beset by high unemployment rates already, and in a vicious cycle, limits employment, skills development, and trade opportunities. Nevertheless, even before this latest deal was announced at the summit in Glasgow just a few short weeks ago, our government has planned to shrink coal's contribution to the energy mix to less than 60% by 2030. Wind and solar power were expected to provide 25% by that point. With the money pledged by the US, UK, France, Germany, and the EU, South Africa can now move much faster in realizing the goals of a sustainable future. And this will also include the green hydrogen economy that we are also embarking on. And therein lies the opportunity for the country and continent to move forward in a progressive way. We must ensure that we do so not at the cost of future generations, and investment into sustainability infrastructures is the continent's and South Africa's greatest opportunity for investment, partnerships, and collaboration. I could spend a further 3 hours and more highlighting the wide variety of numerous opportunities to explore together, but I will leave this here and say to my colleagues from Russia, let this be the start of discussions on how to optimize our relationship for the benefit of the developing and emerging economies of the world. And if we want to be at the forefront of that, then this is only the beginning of that exploration. Let's continue to support our businesses in South Africa. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Minister. Let me hand over to Maxim, to my co-program director. Maxim.
Заместитель министра Кекана, большое спасибо вам за всеобъемлющее представление, понимание и разъяснение по вопросам, касающимся роли ICT индустрии во всех отраслях современного развития. Я хотел бы представить господина Носкова. Ныне это генеральный директор Русхайтекэкспо. Но в недалеком прошлом на посту министра цифрового развития, телекоммуникаций и массовой информации Российской Федерации господин Носков профессионально и очень тщательно, руководя этой отраслью, внес огромный вклад в ее развитие в Российской Федерации, формирование новых направлений использования, применения информационно-коммуникационных технологий. И я полагаю, наше приветствие экс-министра нашему мероприятию весьма важно и интересно. Господин Носков, вам слово.
Да, спасибо, коллеги. Добрый день. Should I speak English or на русском?
Up to you.
Okay, thank you. In English, it will be faster. Always glad to meet my South African friends, even online. I just was in South Africa half a year ago, and we met with a lot of colleagues, with minister, with colleagues in our trade representatives. I want to say that I totally agree with Mrs. Kekana. I'm convinced that we must intensify our cooperation in IT and in ICT sphere, and we can do it. Russia has a huge stack of modern technologies, thousands of IT and ICT companies, and hundreds of them are big enough. But unfortunately, our companies are not very active outside Russia. So we can close this gap together. And I think as two great countries, Russia and South Africa, we can move together to our digital future. There are a lot of areas for cooperation. It can be cyber security, smart cities, telecom equipment, etc., etc. and we are, as a Roshigh-Tech expert, we can help you to find the right partners in Russia. You can find my contacts and contacts of my colleagues in Russian trade representative. And I want to wish you to find right partners for Russian colleagues in South Africa and for South African colleagues in Russia. Thank you so much.
Спасибо, господин Носков, за ваше выступление. Я в соответствии с объявленной господином Mbele программой тоже сейчас скажу несколько слов. Прежде всего, я хотел бы обратиться к господину Mbele. Большое спасибо за активное участие в организации этого мероприятия. Это первое. Второе. Я благодарю руководителей российских и южноафриканских организаций, прежде всего министерств, за приветственное выступление. Я ссылаюсь на приведенный господином Mbele список присутствующих участников, представителей государственных ведомств, представителей компаний, представителей общественных организаций, на полное перечисление всех имен, должностей, и поэтому, может быть, поступлю немножко попроще, скажу all protocol is observed. Уважаемые участники, сейчас я вижу, что у нас 115 участников нашего мероприятия. Это очень большая цифра, честно говоря, мы не рассчитывали на такой интерес, на такое внимание общественности, профессионалов, прежде всего профессионалов в этой области, к этому мероприятию. Но, на наш взгляд, информационно-коммуникационные технологии переросли роль и значение чисто индустриального сектора. На сегодня это вид деятельности, это то, что создает предпосылки и условия для развития абсолютно всех отраслей промышленности, которые создают предпосылки для улучшения социальной обстановки, социального развития наших стран. Это то, что на самом деле объединяет и задает целевые направления всего экономического и всего социального развития, наверное, любой развитой страны мира, к которым относятся и, безусловно, и Южноафриканская республика, и Российская Федерация. Южноафриканская республика, будучи реальным лидером континента, африканского континента, экономическим, техническим, социальным, научным, достигла достаточно высокого уровня развития информационно-коммуникационных технологий и их проникновения в промышленное развитие, в повседневную жизнь каждого южноафриканца. В Российской Федерации информационно-коммуникационные технологии тоже совершили гигантский скачок за последнее время. Так случилось, что я, работая здесь последние 6 лет, наблюдал периодически какие-то, в общем, значительные прогрессные шаги в этой области Российской Федерации. Но для меня очень приятным свидетельством, фактором проникновения информационно-коммуникационных технологий в жизнь каждого простого российского гражданина стало то, что не так давно, 3-4 недели назад, когда я находился в Москве в своем очередном отпуске, мне потребовалось совершить некое регистрационное действие по операции с недвижимостью, на которые в многофункциональных центрах оказания государственных услуг гражданам Российской Федерации отводится по нормативам 5 суток. Вот это самое регистрационное действие было совершено менее чем за сутки. На самом деле это лишнее подтверждение, доказательство того, насколько важно развитие информационно-коммуникационных технологий просто для простых людей, для того, чтобы они убедились в их высокой роли, в их значении для всего экономического и социального развития. Торгпредство Российской Федерации в Южноафриканской Республике выбрало тему двустороннего сотрудничества в области информационно-коммуникационных технологий как одно из основных направлений по той причине, что и Россия, и ЮАР, как я уже упоминал, находятся в достаточно высокой, продвинутой стадии и взаимное применение результатов этого развития, обмен результатами этого развития, коммерциализация результатов информационно-коммуникационного развития каждой из стран, оно, безусловно, пойдет во благо и экономическому развитию стран, обеих стран в целом, и социальному развитию, и на благо граждан наших государств. Я хотел бы поблагодарить еще раз господина Mbele за усилия по привлечению южноафриканских участников на это мероприятие и пожелать его докладчикам, слушателям успехов в дальнейшем. И хотел бы передать слово коллеге господину Сипho Mbele для перехода к второй части нашего мероприятия, так называемый бизнес-диалог. Я полагаю, что мы очень хорошо, что мы идем немножко с опережением графика. Чем больше у нас времени останется на представление конкретных проектов взаимодействия, потенциального взаимодействия в области информационно-коммуникационных технологий, тем на лучший результат мы можем рассчитывать, на лучший результат этого мероприятия. Спасибо.
Thank you. We now and then let's thank the Deputy Minister and other speakers. We have in ensuring that this engagement, amongst others, generate interest, because one of our core objectives as Progressive Business Forum is to ensure that our subscribers, the PBF subscribers, are able to explore opportunities with companies from abroad, but also they are able to do business outside the boundaries of our country. As now we're going to start with our session 2. Our session is divided into 2. We'll have the speakers from the Russian business community, and then we'll have the speakers from the South African community, who are our panelists. They're here to share with us their experience, their businesses. And from there, we'll also open up for discussions towards the end, so that if there are questions that people would like to ask towards the end, then we can able to allow them. Let me hand back to our team from Russia to introduce, as we start with our session 2, to introduce the speakers from Russia, and I will introduce the speakers from South Africa. Thank you.
Спасибо, господин Mbele. Переходя по нашей программе к второй части, я хотел бы представить своего коллегу, сотрудника торгового представительства Российской Федерации в Южноафриканской Республике, Сергея Пискунова, который представит наше видение южноафриканского IT-рынка, возможностей, потребностей его и применимости российских информационно-коммуникационных технологий в результатах разработок на южноафриканском рынке. Спасибо. Господин Пискунов рядом со мной, поэтому мы не включаем отдельную ссылку, он сейчас выступит непосредственно сам. Спасибо.
Thank you, Maxim. Thank you all present, colleagues, esteemed deputy ministers, esteemed ministers. Just allow me a minute to share the screen. Right. Thank you, Convenor Mbele. Thank you, Maxim, for acknowledgement. My name is Sergey Piskunov. I'm from Russian Trade Mission and responsible for high-tech and ICT agenda. Today, I would like to present you our vision of not the whole South African IT market, but our understanding of its opportunities, what's possible to do in the field of cooperation between our high-tech entities. To follow the time schedule, I would like to be brief, because each of slides, we've got 10 of them, presenting exact feature which can be discussed in greater detail, but if we will do that, we won't be able to follow the protocol. So I would like to be brief. So I'm about to start. Let me draw your attention to the screen, colleagues. Here is the first slide. yeah, sorry. The first sector we would like you to draw your attention to is state and corporate cybersecurity. It's just our suggestions due to the specific of this sector, but to our strong consideration, we are close to the real situation. So first of all, it's what can be done. It's a professional evaluation of cybersecurity level of government critical objects, industrial and urban infrastructures, as well as planning and implementation of government cyber defense programs. Second feature is its launching of a new and optimizing of existing state cybersecurity situational centers for the purpose of effective monitoring and counter to information security threats. Third feature within this sector is evaluation of security level of national internet networks, including possible introduction of high-tech means of identification and counteraction to internal and external threats to the said networks, so-called deep packet inspection, DPI. And last, in this regard, is but not least, it's the implementation of a cyber protection measures combination aimed at protection of critical infrastructure facilities. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, colleagues. Yeah, and the last, I'm sorry, it's educational programs, special training programs for cybersecurity professionals. Second block is logistics. First of all, it's projects to ensure the functioning profitability of the state postal system. As I know, it's already existing cooperation between Russian companies and South African National Post. It includes the introduction system of high-tech management and optimization of transport logistics. Secondly, it's solutions in the field of automated monitoring systems and emergency response systems for road accidents. It concerns, it touches the interests of commercial structures as well as personal individual persons which are traveling across the South Africa. Third is implementation of advanced solutions in the field of electronic data interchange, so-called EDI, and enterprise resource management. It's ERP systems. The solutions are well known to the representative of the retail sphere or whatever commercial spheres, but nowadays we've got a breakthrough until tailor-made solutions can be provided in this regards. Last but not least, at this block, it's automated message handling system and aeronautical fixed telecommunication networks. This connects with air freight and air freight carriers. The third sphere we would like to mention is emerging fintech sphere. For instance, it's standing in line with emerging social trends, establishment of financial institutions in the neobank formats, means banking without physical branch, all virtual. So it's emerging in accordance with current situation, with COVID pandemic, with modern fashion way of life, all these things responding to this new banking structures. Second is expansion of the banking services portfolio by introducing robotic consultation mechanisms using big data analysis. It's in connection with investment schemes which can be enriched by the big data mechanisms, providing very precise prognosis and advices to the bank clients. Third and finally, it's, in this regard, is tokenization technology, which delivers great results in protection of personal data during banking transactions we face on a day-to-day basis. It's very familiar to South African markets, where, in accordance to the official statistics, financial frauds can have a part of like 40% of all frauds happening. Another story, slide 4, is the telecommunications itself. First of all, it's what can be done from our side. It's the assistance with the implementation of national and regional programs for the development of high-speed data transmission, as well as in establishment and development of 4G and 5G networks. Secondly, it's cooperation in design of data processing centers and traffic exchange points. Thirdly, it's provision of solutions of high demand in the field of software-defined networks, in particular software-defined networking and network function virtualization. This first and third point, which was just mentioned, it's very important in the conditions of this COVID-19 pandemic, where the remote access to the workspaces, workplaces is the key feature of each employer nowadays. The fourth is solution optimizing the operation of network equipment aimed at reducing its total quantity, its energy consumption, and maintenance costs. I think this issue will be covered further in our program by one of my colleagues. Then it is introduction of new digital services. You see on oligopolistic structured markets, to our opinion, the only way to compete is to diversify your portfolio of services, even when the market is saturated. It can be a feature of good competitiveness practice. Slide 5. This is smart city. That's a well-known question to all the present colleagues. First of all, it's mutually fruitful, can be projects for creation a citywide and intelligent monitoring and analytical platform for urban management centers. And secondly, it can be projects of creation or development of an urban Internet of Things environment in the best interest of the municipal services. So it can be a part of state services provision. Sixth block, it's law enforcement and public security, with so-called police projects. First, it's provision of systems or system elements and exact means of protection against leaks of confidential information for special services. Secondly, it's establishment of high-tech systems for monitoring and dispatching of flying squads and operational transports. Thirdly, it's a provision of high-tech means of all-around investigating actions for crimes committed with computers and mobile devices, including viewing and auditing the contents of encrypted devices. Then it's modernization of existing video surveillance and video analytical systems. And last but not least, is creation or upgrade of situation rooms. Another block we call it service of rescue and emergency response operations. It's pretty the same with the police services, but has some different features. First of all, it's establishment of modern systems for early detection and response to emergencies, including the citizens and special services alerting, as well as systems for management and monitoring of the actions undertaken from the operational services. Second, it's pretty close to the police block. It's upgrades for call dispatching system of emergency services. Third, it's establishment of high-tech system for monitoring and dispatching of flying squads and operational transport, pretty same with the police, and also as well creation or upgrade of situation rooms. 8, it's land registry services, geodesy, urban planning. So first, it's in this connection is projects for the optimization of land register, buildings, structures, and communication networks, data keeping. Second is implementation of the alignment methodology for the aerial and satellite imagery of the area. Third is implementation of high precision geopositional systems. And the fourth is design or upgrade of unified electronic real estate registry. I think Next comes slide 9. Here we've got only one feature, but to our strong consideration, it's very important. It's our specialty, I mean the specialty of the Russian Federation, our specialists, our know-how, what can be reached right away in no country in the world. We got unbelievable level of state services provision to the citizens. Yes, it's and what can be provided from our side, what can be done, it's assistance in creation of one-stop shops for state services, like analogs of our multifunctional centers. And the last slide is telemedicine. It also has only one feature presented. It's establishment of effective remote, cost-effective standard health examination for rural areas. So to sum up my presentation, thank you colleagues for listening. And these areas is the result of our 3.5–4 years work. We would like to listen to your position. Got any questions? You are more than welcome. We would like to understand your opinion and our research. What's close to what you consider is not close to the current conditions on South African high-tech market. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you for the presentation and the input. It was very insightful, particularly on issues of cybersecurity and the benefits for our security establishment and the rural communities. Let me take this opportunity and invite the CEO of Likwezi Consulting, which is an IT company based in South Africa, Ms. Lulekwa Mqabeni. Ms. Mqabeni, the platform is yours.
Let me first recognize all the representatives of both countries in SA and also the Russian representatives, both in private sector and also in public sector. My name is Lulekwa Mqabeni. I am the founder and the CEO of Likwezi IT Solution Company. Likwezi was founded in 2017 with a special focus on end-to-end enterprise IT solutions, basically in the systems. At Likwezi, our foundational value proposition, it is customer centricity, placing our customers at the center of our business and making sure that we deliver a solution based on the business values. And that means we drive the business value throughout our solution delivery. So I'm going to take you through to another slide, which is our focus on people. Our management structure is very solid because we also have an advisory board, and our technical team is mainly, the majority is women, and we do have partners in technology. And our aim is supported by a team that has an in-depth knowledge in architecting, building, and maintaining enterprise-wide data systems. We're not just focusing on data system, but what we are recognizing is that throughout the systems, there is data, which is very key, and it is a strategic asset for any company or any organization. With over 20 years of our collective experience, we bring tested and tried approaches that is vetted on methods and a commitment to excellence. So our service offerings, it includes the business consulting, business solution, design and delivery, meaning we focus on strategic advisory. On strategic advisory, we're saying this is the game plan, where we look at the business and data strategies and making sure that we're building capabilities to make sure that we do the evaluations under the strategic advisory to ensure that we do identification and mapping throughout our game plan. So with focus on the strategic advisory as the game plan, we also look at the enterprise architecture. Within enterprise architecture, we have different architectures, which include business architecture, information systems architecture, and also technology architecture. And also our focus area is mainly on data management and security, which is very key for us because we know that we look at, by looking at the reports, cybersecurity and other data or information securities are very top on the list. And those are the pain points of many organizations. And with our client and experience, we found that that is the main area that most organizations, they take it lightly or for granted. So we look at those data integration points and also data management. And we do testing on the data and while we're delivering the entire solution. So basically we've got the game plan from starting from strategic advisory to the span of the enterprise, making sure that the lights are kept on all the time. So we have our framework, but our framework, as I said, that we are focusing on customer centricity and we need to understand the business challenge. And when we engage with our client, they understand our approach because we always focus on planning the solution together with them and making sure that we build and test the solution together and finally delivering the end-to-end solution to them. And our approach is basically designed to effectively deliver our value proposition of business agility, end-to-end solutions, data-driven design and insights, collaborative innovation, and operational efficiency. So our main vision and purpose is to make sure that we have an impact or we make an impact that matters, and it compels us to contribute to the communities where we live and where we work. And we are responding to the call of empowering while delivering the high value, while focusing on customer centricity. So as I have said that our team is led by a woman, and the majority of the team is women within the ICT sector, with a specialized areas in IT from data management, data security, enterprise architecture, and others. So therefore, for us, it is important that when we deliver the solutions, when we deliver the solutions and we are the one-stop shop. What does it mean for us? It means that we need to focus on efficiency, we need to focus on reliability in terms of our systems, and also making sure that we answer to the call of our clients. So building the end-to-end IT solutions that are scalable. For us, it is very important because we need to have integrated solutions. And while we are building for efficiency, we need to have the stable infrastructures. And it can be very expensive for us as a one-stop shop within IT, because it means we need to have more resources. The more the resources for us, it means that we need to collaborate and have partnership both in private sector and also in public. So therefore, we as Likwezi, we have a set of skills. Our expertise is around all these best practices and also the frameworks that we are using to make sure that we deliver to that. And what is important also for us is that it's not just by becoming a reseller of the product, but more on building the product and implementing the solutions that are working, and also making sure that it's sustainable. So as I have said, that collaboration, it is central to us. And therefore, we believe in co-developing solutions to accomplish our shared goals, and through the idea sharing and thinking from problem definition to the business solution delivery. So therefore, collaborating with different partners in different levels for us in different sectors and also across beyond the borders of South Africa, it is important. And to have a partner who is successful in those areas, or a supplier that will make sure that we speed up the market entry process, for us, it will be a bonus and an advantage. And also our focus is mainly on skills development and training. And when we're looking at the collaboration, one of the things that is key and is critical for us, for our team, it is to develop our youth and women within the ICT, and making sure that we deliver and implement the solutions of high quality. We do not have experience resources, but we build and we make sure that we give them exposure while we're building for the end-to-end efficiency. So therefore, the business strategy behind the end-to-end business value delivery, it is to provide convenience and efficiency to the clients, and as we are doing right now, and gaining loyalty as well as the revenue on our side, and efficiency and providing insight into one's affair, but it can also limit options and be more expensive for us. But what we are looking for is the collaboration and also partners so that we can have quick turnarounds and also we can better communicate. Yes, we are doing it. However, we need to make sure that we realize our imagination through having the partnership that will understand us. So therefore, Program Director, we are available and we are in Johannesburg and we are operating throughout our provinces, and also we can communicate with anyone beyond the borders of South Africa. I think I will leave it there for now, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Lulegwa, for the presentation. I just went through the comment box where there are a few comments. There's a communication from Ilya Cherkesova. He's saying that he's the CEO of the RISE SA Business Solution. They represent 1C company and the ERP software that based in Cape Town. What we'll do from PBF, we will share the details using our newsletter. And we also have a comment from Dr. Precious Mabuza to the panelists. She's interested on slide 8. I think that is a slide that was done by the colleague from the Russia. There's also a request from Mr. Shabalala, Mr. Manga Shabalala. Is asking, can you provide the top 3 companies names in Russia that provide the telemedicine and the 5G solution? So there is, the conversation is starting while they are discussing, and we start to see the potential of the matchmaking between the South African companies and the Russian companies. Let me hand over to my co-program director to co-chair to facilitate this discussion. Thank you.
Уважаемые сопредседатели, уважаемые коллеги, я полагаю, что мы сейчас соберем некоторые вопросы, которые у нас есть, о которых в том числе говорил господин Mbele. В частности, я обратил внимание тоже на вопрос про ведущие компании по телемедицине и сетям 5G. Мы как государственное учреждение...
We as a government organization, of course, have some list of leading Russian organizations, but just now I don't have it at hand. And I will be very, very grateful if after analysis of all the questions given in chat, which require more detailed answers, and to my question requires expanded answer, because companies busy with telemedicine would need to more information, and we will present contact details of some companies, but it will take some time. So immediately it will be difficult to do, but we will do it further because we are limited with time. So we noticed interest to Russian companies in the field of telemedicine and 5G technologies. And of course, we will respond to that with the help of our South African colleagues, co-organizers of this seminar. I hope you will give us contact details who asked this question so we can respond to it, as well as any other questions which might arise. We will hope we will be able to give some details now, but it is difficult to give substantial expanded answer to all the questions now. So at the moment, we would like to know about companies who are interested, and I don't want to do any promotion from our side, and we will definitely give detailed information later. Mr. Mbele, if you don't mind, against such approach, maybe we can continue our work and follow the program. Mr. Mbele, what do you think?
Thank you for the input. Two of our panelists, Mr. Matabane and Mr. Gwala, they requested that we allow the Russian delegates teams to present, and then they'll present towards the end. If we have the speakers who can able to, from the Russian team, they can continue presenting. Just for the advice to everyone who's participating, if you go to your bottom, you can check for translation. You can go and then you can put it under English so that you can able to follow the discussion. In line with, in terms of our program, our two next speakers was from South Africa, but the team has not yet joined us. That's why we like to invite the team from Russia to continue to presenting. And when they join the session, we'll allow them to present. Thank you.
Спасибо, господин Mbele. Я обращаюсь к российским участникам сегодняшнего.
Thank you, Mr. Mbele. I'm talking to Russian participants to pay attention to this question. If you would have any answers, we can use chat and introduce yourself. In the meanwhile, I introduce our next speaker, member of Presidium of Russian organization Business Russia, business ambassador of Russian Federation to South Africa, Mrs. Anna Nadobnych, and her interpretation will be about vision of technology, about entrance to South African market. Thank you.
Да, спасибо, Максим Юрьевич. Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Меня зовут Анна Надобных, и я рада всех приветствовать на российском южноафриканском открытом вебинаре по сотрудничеству наших стран в области технологий. Своим докладом я открываю сессию докладов со стороны IT-бизнеса России. И, как сказал Сергей, наши компании готовы поставлять в ЮАР востребованные технологии. Я и сама являюсь владельцем IT-компании, и мы разрабатываем высокотехнологичные продукты, в том числе для рынка ЮАР. Но о наших решениях я расскажу на следующих уже тематических вебинарах, а сегодня я хочу поговорить о важности бизнес-организаций, общественных организаций, выстраивании тесных отношений между Россией и ЮАР. И также хочу затронуть вопрос, какие есть, по нашему мнению, быстрые варианты выхода на российских поставщиков на рынок ЮАР. Я расшарю презентацию свою.
To the market of Russian companies to South African market. So I'm sharing my presentation now with you.
Вначале несколько слов о нашей организации. Деловая Россия, наша организация, которую я сегодня представляю, это общественная организация, которая насчитывает более 7 тысяч предпринимателей, большинство из которых это не сырьевые компании, и которые обеспечивают порядка 4,2 триллионов выручки, 2,8 триллиона рублей выручки и примерно 1 миллион рабочих мест. То есть это очень обширная организация, включает достаточное количество компаний, которые могут обеспечивать различные технологии для рынка ЮАР. Я являюсь бизнес-послом деловой России. Также я возглавляю подкомитет инновационных управленческих технологий. То есть, в принципе, я занимаюсь технологиями, инновациями и сотрудничеством, в том числе на международном уровне. Что же, в принципе, делает бизнес-посол? В
What
чем
the
его
business
роль?
ambassador
Бизнес-посол –
is
это
doing. So
официальный
a business
представитель
ambassador is
деловой
official
России за
representative
рубежом,
of business
и
Russia
его
abroad.
основная роль
And
– это
the main task of the ambassador is
обеспечение
to
информированности бизнес-сообщества
raise
как
the level of
принимающей
awareness
стороны
of
о
the
российских
host
возможностях, так и российских
companies
поставщиков и, возможно,
and
заказчиков,
Russian
о различных
representatives
потребностях
about the
иностранных
needs and
государств. И
demands
все бизнес-послы,
of Russian
включая меня,
countries,
являются
and all business
предпринимателями,
ambassadors are
поэтому мы всегда
entrepreneurs,
пытаемся
and
найти
we
и
always try
коммуницировать
to find
эффективно
and
и найти
communicate
быстрые пути
effectively
взаимодействия
the quick
с иностранными
cooperation
партнерами.
links with our foreign partners.
Если говорить в принципе про
If we
международное
speak
сотрудничество,
about the international
бизнес-послы являются
cooperation,
одним
business
из институтов
ambassadors are one of the
международного сотрудничества
institutions
деловой
of the
России.
international
Кроме
cooperation
того,
of business Russia. Besides,
мы подписали уже
we
более
have
200
signed
иностранных
over
партнерских контрактов
200
с партнерскими организациями за
partnership
рубежом.
contracts
У
with
нас
companies abroad,
90
and we have about
международных
90
подписанных
international
международных договоров.
agreements
Постоянно
which have been
проводятся
signed, and
различные
we
B2B
constantly
встречи,
arrange
онлайн-конференции. То есть
different
деловая Россия как
meetings,
общественная организация
conferences, and
активно старается
seminars.
налаживать
Business
мост
Russia
между
as a public
сотрудничеством
company trying
между
to
Россией и другими
increase and
странами.
establish the bridges and links
Если
between
говорить
Russia
о
and other countries
взаимодействии
of the world.
именно
If we speak
России
about
и
cooperation,
Южной Африки.
specifically
Сначала
Russia and South Africa,
начнем с проблематики, в чем же
we must
проблема.
start
И как
with
сказал
the
Максим
problems
Юрьевич в самом начале,
and challenges.
действительно, российские компании, они готовы к выходу, у них есть технологии, мы готовы к выходу на рынок ЮАР, но есть некоторые сложности, потому что есть сложности, связанные культурное восприятие с разницей в расстоянии и, в принципе, в непонимании, какие же шаги нужно предпринять для выхода на новый рынок, а тем более такой далекий, как рынок ЮАР. И деловая Россия обеспечивает ряд мер, ряд действий для обеспечения как членов своей организации, так и других компаний шагами, которые помогут бизнесу выйти на рынок ЮАР. То есть мы работаем в очень тесном контакте с торгпредством. Всякие организационные вопросы, которые связаны с тем, какие продукты, какие услуги сейчас востребованы на рынке ЮАР. Помощь в построении самого маршрута выхода и организация B2B встреч. То есть, по сути, мы помогаем компаниям, которые готовы и проявила интерес, которая подготовилась уже, у которой готовы продукты для выхода на рынок ЮАР организационно и помочь сделать первый шаг, возможно, найти партнеров и начать коммуникации. Какие мероприятия уже были проведены по сотрудничеству с ЮАР со стороны деловой России? Первое мероприятие было 13 апреля, одно из первых, я имею в виду ближайших, где мы обсудили торгово-экономическое сотрудничество наших стран. Затем был уже более практический вебинар, он был состоялся 9 июня, где мы как раз обсудили потребности рынка ЮАР и сформировали возможности, которыми мы можем закрыть эти потребности. И сейчас у нас уже есть понимание, какие есть потребности на рынке, какие компании у нас готовы, какие продукты готовы прямо сейчас к выходу, и что для этого нужно сделать. Почему, в принципе, южноафриканский рынок он интересен для российских IT-компаний? Прежде всего, конечно, сейчас достаточно благоприятная
all, there is now a very favorable condition for entering South African market for Russian companies because there is the current economic pressures which force the companies to look for the instruments and technologies
для того, чтобы технически оптимизировать свои процессы, а российские компании, российские поставщики могут обеспечивать такие инструменты и закрывать эти потребности. В том числе Африка, она является большим континентом, и ЮАР – это точка входа на африканский континент, потому что ЮАР предоставляет консалтинговые услуги для всей Африки, и сейчас там идет активный процесс цифровизации, и наши поставщики, в принципе, готовы участвовать и в закрытии этих потребностей, которые как раз Сергей очень детально озвучил, все потребности, которые есть, которые, в принципе, наши компании готовы закрыть. И после понимания того, что действительно южноафриканский рынок – это правильный и хороший рынок для российского IT-бизнеса, мы начали анализировать, какие, в принципе, существуют варианты выхода на этот рынок. И после анализа способов выхода мы нашли наиболее оптимальный с точки зрения ресурсов. И вот сегодняшнее выступление представителя консалтинговой компании Ликвези, если я правильно произношу это название, только уверила меня, что это правильный путь выхода, то есть поиск партнера без открытия конкретного бизнеса как первый шаг, без открытия бизнеса, а поиск партнеров на территории ЮАР. Как раз потому что было озвучено, что и южноафриканские компании, консалтинговые компании, какие-то IT-компании, они заинтересованы в поиске партнеров, которые специализируются на каких-то конкретных инструментах. И вот как раз такая коллаборация, такое сотрудничество наших IT-компаний, которые создают определенные продукты, и вендоров, либо консалтинговых компаний на стороне ЮАР, они дадут синергетический эффект. Почему? Потому что компании консалтинговые, в том числе на рынке ЮАР, они хорошо понимают бизнес-потребности, а наши компании, IT-поставщики, обладают необходимым инструментом для закрытия этих потребностей. Поэтому связывать вот эти два источника наших IT-поставщиков и каких-то партнеров в южноафриканском регионе, это, конечно, важная часть, в том числе работы меня и работы деловой России и ее международного сотрудничества. Кроме того, мы видим потенциал в сотрудничестве между бизнес-организациями, потому что у нас очень большое количество членов, и у многих, некоторых южноафриканских бизнес-сообществ, с которыми мы начали коммуницировать и налаживать связи, как раз-таки для поиска партнерских взаимодействий. Я призываю всех компаний российских поставщиков IT-услуг активно сотрудничать и с нами, и если это получается напрямую с компаниями Южной Африки, и эта коллаборация, она даст вам желаемый результат, поможет вам выйти на этот правильный для наших компаний рынок. Спасибо.
To get into the South African IT market. Thank you. Anna, thank you very much for your presentation. I hope that many participants of our today's session will be interested. From my side, I would like to ask my colleagues, Mr. Mbele, to introduce our next presenter, please.
Thank you, my colleague, let me invite the CEO of the Black Business Council, Mr. Khanki Matabane. He's the CEO of the Black Business Council. He's going to do the presentation. Mr. Mataban has also made a request that we release him because he's managing the strat plan. You can see he's wearing a mask because he's attending a strat plan. And just to share, I just noticed some comments in the chat groups. The issues that are raised, Khomoso is running the logistic company. We also have some inputs. There's also a request from Tivelo. I see there's also a company from Mr. Terry Tembo. He represents the Multiplex Networks enterprise. They're into the telecommunication space. So those are some of the companies that we have noted. What we are doing from our side, we will share
С нашей стороны,
and then we'll also share the information to the participants. There's also some few questions that are coming forward from various individuals that we'll answer. I think towards the end, we'll also open up for question and answer session so that if there are issues that they need clarity from different Russian companies, they can able to speak to. Without waste of time, let me invite Khanki Matabane to address us, and then after that, I'll hand over to my colleague to introduce the Russian company. Thank you.
PBF convener Sipho Mbele, and thank you very much for inviting the Black Business Council. A good morning all, and all protocol observed. The South Africa and as you know is a member of BRICS, and the BBC is an integral part of the South African BRICS Business Council. Out of the 5 members, the 2 comes from the Black Business Council. So we do take the relationship with Russia very seriously. It's an important one for us, and we think it will assist us. As you know, South Africa has got a challenge of unemployment, poverty and inequality. And then if we're working together with our Russian counterparts, we should be able to address those pertinent issues. We welcome the opportunity to be here. And just to remind all of us, South Africa has got a particular history. Hence, people always ask why Black Business Council. And the reason why there's a Black Business Council is because of the history of South Africa, where the majority of the citizens were excluded. So us as the Black Business Council, we're trying to make sure that the majority then gets included in the business opportunities. They play a meaningful role in the mainstream economy. And it's important to underline mainstream, which means we want to play a role in the real economy. At the moment, our economy is like concentrated on in few hands. If you look at all the sectors of the economy, you find that there are 3 or 4 big corporates that are controlling the 90% of the market. And then that's where we want to open the market for new entrants. And that's where the opportunities are. And it's important that for any business that wants to operate in South Africa, we need to take cognizance of the fact that we've got an act called the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, which means if you want to do business in South Africa, you have to accommodate the people who have been excluded in what you have, if you want to participate fully in the economy. And that's where we will be able to assist any company that comes into South Africa, to assist them with the understanding and the implementation of the act. The members, our members have got 2 challenges, and I think that's where the Russian counterparts can also come into play. There's an issue of challenge regarding access to markets, and then the issues of access to funding. So we will call upon our Russian counterparts who've got the funding institutions and the funds to avail themselves for. And there are various opportunities that can be accessed. To give only 2 examples, we the country is soon going to license 5G. And in that 5G licensing, there's an opportunity for new entrants to come into play. And that's where we can partner, as the BBC, we can partner with the Russian counterparts and then bid for 5G licenses. So that is an opportunity that is coming very, very soon. So it's important that you reach to us and we can then start working on it so that by the time the licensing process starts, the companies are ready. The second one is the taking the fiber to townships. It's a huge opportunity where the most of the townships don't necessarily have fiber, and we see an opportunity for partnering with the Russian counterparts on making sure that the people in the townships and even some rural areas are connected. So those are just a few examples of opportunities where we were ready and able and willing to partner. We do have our members are ready. In case you need some information, you can send us a request via Sipho. We will be able to facilitate that, or you can check our website. But I think the preferred one is if you speak to PPF. Sorry, I'm not muted. As I see, Godfrey says I must unmute myself. Maybe it's the network. Apologies. So if you want more information about the Black Business Council and how we can work together, please speak to Mr. Mbele, and he can connect us. Mr. Mbele, I think the last thing from our side, maybe what we should do, we should organize once the COVID, the new variants has subsided, we should maybe organize a trip to an outward mission to Russia, where the physical interaction between South African businesses and Russian businesses can interact. But obviously before that happens, there must be work that happens so that by the time we get there, people are signing deals and signing contracts. Mr. Mbele, thank you very much for inviting us. We're looking forward to further engagements.
Thank you, Mr. Matabane, for the input. Let me invite my Russian counterparts to take over.
Спасибо, господин Mbele. Я хочу сделать одно небольшое замечание по ходу.
I would like to make some announcement. We are listening to the presentations and we read chat as well. And I'm very grateful that Mr. Nathan Zon has responded to our request regarding telemedicine. I hope that his contact will be interesting, and telemedicine is interesting direction of cooperation. And I wish all the success in the development of cooperation and possible cooperation with Russian telemedicine organizations. Okay, next speaker. Now we will have a series of presentation from Russian side. First, we will have CEO of company Rosinfocom Invest, Mr. Georgi, and his presentation will be about single window for government services, or one-stop shop for government services. Mr. Mikaberidze, please, the floor is yours.
Thanks for the opportunity to speak and to present Russian technologies today. So Russia historically has a good technical school. There are more than 305 technical universities in the country and more than 924 research centers and more than 50,000 companies in the field of IT, which made it possible to achieve the following results. Russia is #1 in the world in terms of implementation of AI into manufacturing. And we all understand that such implementation increases the economic efficiency of the enterprises, including state-owned enterprises. And we'll talk later about the solutions in this area. Also, maybe you know that in 2018, Moscow took the first place in the world in the United Nations ranking among smart cities, which indicates the high quality of the provision of the digital services to the citizens. And so also we will talk about such services later. And Russia is among the top countries in terms of cybersecurity. And it is clear that cybersecurity is the biggest challenge for the upcoming decade. So let's talk about the solutions. So we don't have too much time, so I will be brief about different solutions. So we picked some solutions that we wanted to present to you today. Actually, we are probably more focusing on these 4 areas, but it doesn't mean that we don't have the solutions in the digital agriculture. And I even have added one slide for digital agriculture in the end, because I've seen one question about the agriculture. So we focused on first on the telecom, for telecom equipment, because we have really good manufacturers of the telecom equipment in Russia. I believe that they are not very well known abroad. That's why we will focus on them, because they produce really world-class equipment. The second part is the smart infrastructure. And here we will talk about video surveillance, about face and speech recognition, and IoT solutions for the smart building management. Definitely, there is a big set of cybersecurity solutions for different purposes, for threat detection, starting from, for example, from threat detection system to data leakage prevention. So we can help building really secure operation centers, and to establish social network monitoring for checking what is happening around the country. And definitely, last but not the least, is the automation of the state services. This is one of the areas and topic of today's discussion. So we compiled here today 6 solutions, and we'll talk about them. So the first, it's really a huge solution that is implemented in Moscow. We have more than 129 multifunctional centers. And this is the reason why Moscow was nominated #1 smart city in the world in 2019, because the provision of the services, how the services is provided to the citizens, is really on the high level. And in Moscow, we have 2 components of this. First is the multifunctional centers, where you can come and get the service, and the portal itself, where you can have more than 270 different kinds of services that can be done online. One of the very important solutions that makes life of the citizens more comfortable is the ticketing system for public transport. And here we have easy to deploy solution that really improves the quality of the transport services. This solution actually increases revenue for, could be like up to 15% once it is deployed, and decrease the operation cost for 15%. All of us know that right now people tend to use more and more the smartphones, and smartphone has become the very crucial, plays an important role for the fare collection systems. And as a result, it really improves the quality of the transport services. And just coming back for the beginning, what I've said about the solution is the system can be deployed within a week, and it doesn't matter whether the city is huge, definitely increases the time of deployment, or the city could be small, like 100,000 population, and such kind of system can be installed in the city. And another very interesting part of this solution is that it can combine different types of public transport. For example, in Moscow, we have one transport card that suits for subway, for the buses, for the trolley buses, and for the train. So it means that it's really convenient for the passengers to use the public transportation. The next solution is the IoT platform, which helps to manage buildings and bring huge efficiency. For example, it can bring the payback of the whole system in around 1 or 2 years. How it works? We install the IoT sensors and connect devices to an IoT platform. And after that, more than 100 to 400 parameters are monitored, and what is very important, managed by remote engineers. And as a result, it significantly lowers the operation costs, like for approximately 30 to 50%, and reduce energy consumption and utility consumption for 10–30%. And such systems such system has an unlimited scalability. For example, it is installed in Russia in one of the biggest bank that has more than 7,000 branches, and one engineer can control over the huge infrastructure of the bank. And one very interesting fact about this solution, that one of the well-known vendor uses this solution as a white label because it considers it to be by far better than its own. So later, if somebody really interested in such kind of solution, so we will tell more about it and can make a demo of the solution, because it really helps when you make a demo and to show how the system works and operates. In Moscow, we have more than 200,000 cameras installed, which monitors traffic, criminal incidents, different kinds of protests, fire cases, smoke, and whatever incidents that happens on the street. And actually, one of the main outcome of the system that citizens receive, that the city has become more safe. The number of criminal cases reduced by several times within several years. Number of stolen cars reduced by 90%, by 90. So it means that we can say that there is no problem of stolen cars in Moscow, but this problem really degraded in Moscow because of the speed cameras, because they can control how the stolen vehicles is moving, where it is going, and the police can catch the criminals with the stolen cars easily. And another very important part of the traffic safety is the addition when it is accomplished with the video recognition, because it helps to recognize the criminals in the public spaces, for example, in the subway or on the streets, and easier to find them when something bad has happened. Another interesting technology from Russian company T8 that could actually secure the parameters and the areas of different, like for example, airports, state-owned objects, national parks. And by the way, this technology is in use by the park in Limpopo in South Africa already. You just need to install the optical fiber into the land, and then it detects all the vibrations that happens around it and tells you what is it exactly, whether somebody is digging, somebody is walking, somebody is crossing the perimeter, or maybe some cars are moving, or something else is happening. And in Russia, for example, such kind of system is in use for the airports when you need to protect the area of the airport and accomplishes with the video surveillance, because it really helps to identify all negative cases in a very fast way. Last but not the least in this block is the cybersecurity. Russia is well known for advanced cybersecurity solutions, and we have really many multinational companies. I believe some of them you know, like Kaspersky, Positive Technologies, Group IB. And here we can actually provide the full spectrum of the solutions for the government bodies, for the telecom companies, for the business entities. Then it could be, the solutions could be about the data leakage prevention, the fraud detection, anti-DDoS protection, and so on. And the way to start is to probably to test your IT infrastructure for vulnerabilities. And here we can actually help. You just need to contact us or Rus high-tech experts so that they could be one window for you so that you can contact them and identify and to start working in the cyber field. Also, I would like to say a few words or show you a few slides about the telecom equipment and telecom solutions. So we'll talk about value-added services, about and the equipment itself. Most likely, you are not aware about Russian hardware manufacturers. So I will present them briefly, but these are really well established, at least in Russia, in some other countries, manufacturers of the telecom equipment. And here specifically, I'm talking about Eltex. It is the last mile telecom equipment manufacturer. It manufactures GPON equipment, Ethernet switches, service routers, and transport routers and other equipment. The company has more than 500 research team which develops this equipment, and it already ships such kind of devices in more than 30 countries. First, of course, in CIS countries, in US, Vietnam, Serbia, and Czech Republic, and not yet in South Africa, but probably this is the opportunity to start collaboration in South Africa. The next company is called Micron. Micron is the largest private manufacturer of radio electronics in Russia. It produces the radio equipment. And for example, now we as a Rosinform Invest, and I know that Rus high-tech experts also involved in several projects in several countries where it is needed to set up internet for the remote areas. And Micron has the solution that is called FarLink, that can bring internet up to 180 kilometers and with the speed to 30 megabits per second, with just small antenna that is installed on the tower. Oh, in Russia we have a joke that this antenna will work even if you install it on the tree, because it's really simple, but it really brings very cost-efficient solutions to bring internet for the remote areas. And remote areas can be like the mountain areas, it could be the islands, so different types of the remote areas, and not necessarily to bring the optical cable in all the cases. In some cases, you can install such kind of equipment. And also answering the question regarding the 5G, somebody asked the question, this company develops the radio heads for the 5G. Okay, let's move on. The next company is called TA that develops and manufactures DWDM equipment. I believe that most of you don't know what is DWDM equipment, but let me explain it. You have the cable that goes from one city, for example, to another city. And in both sides of this cable, there is an equipment that actually compress the data and send it through the cable to another destination. And this equipment is called DWDM equipment. Only a few countries in the world has manufacturing of such kind of equipment. NT8 is one of them, and this equipment can be used for the critical infrastructure of the state, because you can insert your own encryption inside it, or it can be used just for the regular telecom networks. Next solution is probably upcoming revolution in the data center industry. This is the immersion cooling technology for the data centers. What it means that in the cubic that you can see on the left bottom side, there is a liquid, and you insert all data center equipment like servers, routers, you insert them, all of them into the liquid, and it brings really huge efficiency in terms of CapEx and OpEx. Because first, we need less space to install such kind of equipment. Second, we need less energy to cool down the equipment. And figure-wise, in CapEx, you can save up to 30%, and in OpEx, in regular operations, after the data center is installed, up to 50%, because you need less space, you consume less energy and other utilities. And it could be like two form factors. It could be container-wide in container format, or it could be in cubic format for the office, and really easy to deploy. Probably a few slides about the value-added services for the telecom operators. Right now, we see that telecom operators start providing more and more different services for their clients. And here is the solution for the video conferencing as a service. It means that a Russian company can bring a fully functional solution for the video conferencing that mobile operators can sell to their customers as a white label solution, and earn additional money with their audience, with their clients. Second is the smart video surveillance. It's from one side, it's very easy solution when you install video cameras that can help recognize all the abnormal activities in private real estate and surrounding area. And this could be used on a subscription model, can be delivered to the mobile operators, and they can use it on a revenue sharing model and sell it to their clients as well. And one more solution, this is the video content management platform. We know that right now, telecom operators become the focal point for the users to get access to the content. And many operators globally provide access to different TV channels and different video content. And in this case, they have to develop their own platform and to get contracts with the content provider. So in this case, with this solution, they can get already built a platform for the content management, establish only some contracts with the content providers, and it's ready to go. It's really easy to deploy system. It can use also the revenue sharing model, and it really fits quite well to the telecom operators. And probably last slide for today, because there was a question about the agriculture solution. We have in Russia, we have the company which can use the technology for the precise agriculture. So it helps to increase the efficiency of the agriculture while using the combiners, because they install specific equipment on the combines, and it helps better drive the combine in the fields. And by doing that, it really increases the fuel efficiency, it increases the crop harvesting by 25–30%. And it's really getting, say, widespread globally, because many international clients and customers like John Deere class starting to implement such solutions into their combiners. Just to summarize, so here we have listed just few solutions. It's not the full set of solutions. So just contact us, contact Rus High-Tech Expert, and we can actually bring you more solutions and bring it to the companies. Thank you.
Господин Микиберидзе, спасибо большое за вашу исчерпывающую презентацию, весьма широкую, охватывающую широкий спектр.
It covered broad spectrum of Russian technologies and Russian potential in the field of IT solutions in a very broad field of Russian technological decision. That's what I was telling us about in the beginning, that in Russia, this technology is very well developed and it penetrated many industries. And here we have it as an instrument which provides capability for further economical growth of economy. Georgis, thank you very much. Our next presentation will be done by CEO of the Center of Geoanalytical Solutions for Retailers and Developers, Center for Special Research. They offer solutions for retailers and for anybody interested in GIS. Good morning. I hope you can hear me. Thank you very much for organizers for this invitation. Our company operates
Я покажу несколько кейсов из бизнес-сектора и government-сектора.
Several business cases.
Мы работаем 18 лет.
Share our experience. We are in the market for 18 years, and mostly we service retail. Recently, we started to expand our operations. I will show some examples of city retail. Some of our clients are from Western countries, but interested in Russian cooperation, and we spent many time to operate with geodata all over Russian territory. And because Russian territory is quite big, we accumulated huge experience and we try to use it in other countries in the world. Our product is called Geotech. And this product is extension of informational system, GIS systems. It is absolutely integrated. And the advantage of our product is that we know and developed many algorithms based on artificial intellect and machine learning, and our AI integrated into some systems. If we talk about retail, it means we need to plan location of trade points, competitors, who are the people living in these locations, and using information different business categories. I will not spend much time on that. I will rather show the example which data are used not only in Russia but all over the world to make analysis of such business case. According to last data, 94% of information is presented as maps. That means all data can be linked to a geographical map and obtain new knowledge. You can see mobile data from smartphones. We generate a lot of data by using our phones, and this data can be analyzed. These are the data from mobile operators, data from houses, also data from official statistical organizations, for example, data about spread of population, or data from Google. So our task is to unite, to combine all these data and build up certain solutions. Use it, for example, in smart city and retail applications in some in smart city. For example, this is city of St. Petersburg. This is the central avenue called Nevsky Prospect, and you can see most frequent visited places. Such data can be spread all over the world. We'll use Apple, we'll use Google, use Android system or other operational systems. Our platform is fully expanded, can be, and it is translated in different languages. I want to stop now. On the left-hand side of my slide, it shows the directions, which I will cover in more details. First is the example connected to that business is being developed, and business has convenience in using recommendations from our service. To give recommendations, we need to develop mathematical model which will show up you what is the best place to set up your trading point. Where is the best place for pharmacy? Where is the best place for food outlet? So under the hood of this technological map, we place our data and our algorithms. Specifically for our conference, we connected some geographical data about South Africa. You can see South African map. And these data are connected to population. In each square, 100 by 100 meters, we can count number of people living there. And this geodata can be used, of course, not only in retail, they can be used to plan location of certain transport infrastructure, to plan location of mobile communication towers. So the geodata information can be used in different purposes. We can overlay different information from different sources onto our map. Of course, everything is translated into English. And of course, we can always switch on certain points like fast food, like pharmacies, and build up some routes if you travel by bike or if you travel by car. For small business, it will be a map in details. For big business, we can cover large territory. Like in Johannesburg, in one zone, we have 6,000 people. In other zone, we have 8,000 people. So which zone will I select? Which location shall I select for my trade object or my transport object? It's up to me now. Here we can see all for 6 people, and there we can see only one restaurant per 8,000 people. So the answer is obvious where you will put next restaurant. The business potential of this approach is huge. We can talk about telemedicine center, where to locate place to collect medical information from people, like blood testing. I just wanted to show that these models can be easily transported or aligned to different parts of the world. If you look at another problem, let's say we have a big business company, and if it has big service and gives these services to entrepreneurs, then economy of South African cities and towns will grow up, because this will be help from government to entrepreneurs. There is another task. There are some large objects. There are huge areas. The country has to be open for investors and foreign investors. In 2007, we had such problem in front of us. It was given to us by St. Petersburg municipality, and we created a geo-information system for potential investor that investor can compare location of large spots of free land where they can build hypermarket, new manufacturing factory, warehouses, hotels, or other large objects. Well, we made another step. We also applied it for huge blocks of apartments. We can build a mathematical algorithm which will show how attractive the particular piece of land is, how it is ready that a new block of apartments can be built, or to estimate what will be the cost of apartment. So we can build a calculator in our map which can show us source of, sorry, not source, but cost of apartment. And these models were built for different countries, different cities. For example, this application for Uzbekistan. The next approach is about select land for developers, for construction developers. This is map of St. Petersburg, where I live, and you can see living areas. And if I put my zoom to 100% on the right-hand side of my tool, you will see that the most comfortable zone is, strange enough, but close to airport. This is extreme case, but I just want to illustrate it. When people want to select place where to live, where to stay, they take into account many factors: location to green parks, location of schools, kindergartens. So we build up a model, and we start to model our possible location. On the right-hand side, we put importance of certain factors. How important for us is closeness to underground, to schools, to green parks, and then the picture on the map shows us attractiveness of certain geographical areas for our location. So if I'm developer, we can estimate the value of particular land in terms of selection factors. And if we look at the top, the maps of local municipalities, then this information can be used in the election campaign, because in some areas there will be lack of playgrounds for children. It's very important today to show the next case. We work in this structure for long, and on the top you can see distribution of ill people in different medical hospital, and one can see the difference in logistics. We can see difference in time, delivery time of sick people from houses to hospitals. So this logistical zone map allows us to plan position or location of new beds in the hospitals. Another case shows us how we can model different epidemia, and is very popular today because of COVID, because different stems of COVID arise. And in February 2020, before we had first sick person in Russia, we, together with Institute of Gamaleya in Russia, we have developed the following model. Let's say we have seen first sick person, sick COVID people at certain address. Then we imitated contacts of other people with this sick person, and we produced following results: how what will happen if the time 21 day will be 24 days, how the spread of disease will be shown in the city. And these are real data about the living people in block of apartments. But we never use personal details of any person. It's imitation. What will happen if scenario? What if? You can see how people go to shop, how to go to a pharmacy. Our model works as a training equipment. It allows us to close schools and see what will happen with number of sick people if you're gonna close schools. We prognosed some time ago that by April 2000, they will have 5,000 sick people. That was prediction of our model. And indeed, later when we compared the real number of sick people, the deviation was just plus minus 100 people. So there are different, very different parameters of the model, and you can adjust it to fit the real data. The next experience which we had is related to ecology. We can simulate the contamination of air. We can simulate removal of waste bins. In St. Petersburg, we have a problem with waste removal and collection of the waste. And then we counted how many people are provided with containers in so-called 5 minutes zone. If container is close to the living place, then people are prepared to sort the garbage and to split it into different bins. And when we counted these numbers, then we realized that 70% of inhabitants in St. Petersburg are provided with bins where they can sort plastic and other garbage. And another type of package is Tetra Pak, and there are no containers for this particular type of wastes. And this information is very valuable for the management, for municipal workers and leaders, garbage removal and garbage sorting. Of course, sorting is better where the income of people is higher, and that that information we took from statistics. And we saw some interesting cases today of placing cameras. We made coverage by video cameras in our city. And on the left, you see present picture, on the right is future. The question is, how much video surveillance cameras do we need in the city? We know that it can be modeled, and we calculations with the help of mathematical model. But what is important is where to place these cameras. Usually there are not enough to place 200,000 of surveillance cameras. Then we started to think how to apply certain importance, priority factors to positions in the city. And of course, it is linked to the movement of people. If we have more people in the streets in particular areas, we need to put more cameras there. And our model allows to predict that. And in this way, municipality can save money. For example, in the city of Tashkent in Uzbekistan, we traced places of most frequent road accidents. Mathematically, it can model with certain algorithm, and we can place additional robots and make additional pedestrian crossings. I would like to say that Tashkent is one of very few cities, including Jakarta, which applied these logics, the technology which I have shown you in this slide. They decided to collect information about the cities and use this information management of city life. The digital Tashkent system implemented, it shows you how many people are there in the streets and where they place orders through one-stop service shop, where to place outlets of this one-stop service shop. We collect statistics. We are very glad we took part in this project and contributed to the success. And the last, which I wanted to say, we had experience with international cooperation in different countries. Unfortunately, Africa is still on our list to do, in spite of the fact we worked with many retailers. So we are seeking for new partners and new clients to realize different projects in the field of geoanalytic information. Thank you very much for organizers. For your very interesting information, very helpful and very clearly explained. Everybody understood what is happening. Maybe there is a lack of professional details, but at least it is very clear. I would like to point attention to one question which was given in chat. Immersion, if I pronounce this name properly, is there a platform which we can use to develop our further cooperation? Maybe the next presentation will give the answer to this question. I will give a floor to Mr. Nikonov, who is a managing director of electronic trade platform ATP Gazprom Bank. Please, Mr. Nikonov, floor is yours.
So I will just continue in English if it's possible. So it's probably going to be more understandable for everyone here. So if you don't mind, so we'll just give it a little time to switch to the language, the right language, just to not distract anyone. And also I will share my presentation right now. So please let me know if you can see this. Hopefully.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. Okay, yeah, just has been said earlier, and I'd like to thank organizing committee here, my colleagues, our partners here, for inviting me here. So this is a great platform to be creating new supply chains, creating new partnerships and cooperation. So we're glad that we're moving forward towards Africa, and we truly understand what it takes to start something big, start something international. And of course, we'll try to bring enough effort to do this correctly. So as you mentioned before from previous presentations, Russian market has a lot to offer, and sometimes it's IT technologies, sometimes it's oil and gas industry, machinery, and other agricultural machinery and stuff. So not just resources, because our production been improving itself for a long time, and by the help of the government, creating the requests from the local consumers, for local companies. It made everything possible. It makes our production plan move forward and improve itself. So that's why we truly understand that working with the Russian market at the moment might be an interesting direction for companies in Africa also. But we also truly understand that when it comes down to cooperation, it's the two-way driveway. So there's always something to give and something to offer, but it's also something that you have to buy and take from the African companies and manufacturers. So that's why we're trying to build the platform that provides this possibility. So we're not just talking about the digital platform, we're also talking about the partnership platform, because as we see ourselves, we're as a third party, I would say, when it comes down to working with the Russian market, with the Russian suppliers, with the Russian consumers also, because we do have services for organizing export and import cooperation within our countries. So I'll just move forward straight to the task. I'll try to go briefly so everything should be understandable, because I truly understand that everybody has own time and want to spend it effectively. So if we talk about our company and our new brand called iSource, basically this is the company created, this joint venture created by Gazprom Neft and the Gazprom Bank, basically two big companies in their business. Anyways, so Gazprom Bank is the top 3 banks in the Russian Federation, and Gazprom Neft is one of the top oil companies in Russia, now implementing the best IT also technologies in supplying their companies, supply the group of companies, and also implementing digital services for optimization of the processes. So also including electronic trading platform of Gazprom Bank, which I also represent, we have a huge experience, 10 years experience of creating e-commerce, B2B digital platforms, digital trading platforms, procurement platforms, and we also have a huge experience of implementing the supplier relationship management systems at our market. And we also help our companies and suppliers and consumers to find their needs using our digital services. And the Gazprom Neft has huge experience in supplying itself centralized, and has a huge experience of implementing digital services that help to automate the process of supplying, and they have a huge experience on the market. So that's why we try to join those two experiences at the market, and we created digital, I would say, digital and non-digital ecosystem, which is called iSource, and we are now trying to provide our clients from not just Russia but all over the world with the services of outsourcing of the procurement process, of the expertise on the Russian market of suppliers, and of course with our digital services. But I'm not going to talk too much about digital services as a service for African companies at the moment, because the only platform which is capable of supplying needs at the moment is basically the electronic trading platform, because the electronic trading platforms provides the possibility for African companies, and not just African companies from all over the world, to find their customer in Russia, to find their client in Russia by using those digital services and apply, because all the procurement procedures here in Russia mostly are undergoing by the digital form as a tender, procurement tender procedure. So that's why we'll be able to provide this possibility to export from South African and also from the continent, companies from the continent to the Russian Federation. But what I would like to point, the most interesting stuff that I want to tell you about is that we will be helping African companies, consumers from Africa, to get along with the Russian Federation, to see and find what we have to offer, and we will help to cooperate with the supplier at all stages of the procurement business process and supplying business process. So Basically, iSource ecosystem provides the possibility to access to the database of proven manufacturers of the Russian Federation with our comments, because we have a huge experience of working with variety of different suppliers, and not just providing them with the digital services, but also working with them from the beginning, from sending the request by up to controlling the production process, up to controlling the delivery process. So basically, we provide the full transparent process of this supply chain management. We basically guarantee the quality of the purchased goods from the Russian Federation, because we see your need, we get the information about what the company needs to buy, and then we'll be able to trace the production process at the production plant, manufacturer's plant, because we have our own experience of doing that, and by that we decrease the number of non-quality, not a good quality products arriving to our storages to up to less than 1%. So basically, we're fully control the process. We provide transparency and traceability of supply chain at all stages, and accelerating the procurement process, because it is always hard to find and build this cooperation with the company from the other country, because you don't have instruments, you don't have expertise, you don't have enough time at some point to work on it. But we do have everything right now ready for any client from any place in the world, especially from Africa. So we'll be able to get all the information. We'll be hands and eyes, and we'll provide all the information needed to make a right decision on whether it's going to be the contract with some supplier, or there will be something else to work on. So basically, as I told, we provide the fully controlled production and delivery of products. So basically, we have digital services implemented in that process. So we will be able to use this digital process to control your supply chain, and we'll be able to provide you with information what's happening. And of course, we'll if we'll see some deviations, of course, we'll be providing the customer about that, and we'll of course help to deal with those deviations, and of course recommend what is the most efficient way to deal with that. So basically, yes, we are able to integrate into customers' IT system, because when it comes down to working with the clients from abroad, of course, we implement our digital services, but not all of them. Just the one that helps you to create the request, to send us the documentation safely, to do it safely, of course, and then we will work on it from there, and providing all the processes with the digital services. And soon enough, when we will gain enough clients from the other countries, from Europe, from Africa, from South America, it's all activities that we do have right now, we will provide all those services to you. They will be translated in English, and of course you'll be able to use all those digital services at all stages of the procurement and supply chain management process yourself. Yeah, so right now we do this for you. We save your time. We basically provide the efficiency of the processes. And also there is one thing we can do with this, the redistribution and reduction of warehouse stocks. So we have stocks not just in Russia, but all over the world. So we'll be able to provide the service, we'll provide the short or long-term stocking of the products for some time, for sure. So just about the business. So just to make sure that we're the company that is capable of doing what we're saying, is that we do have experience of working with clients from over 79 countries, mostly suppliers from the other countries, but also right now we already have over 10 customers all over the world. So basically we handle 350,000 tenders annually, electronic tenders annually. We have full access to over 800,000 suppliers. So I mean the quick access, so not just access, and we are able to trace their business competence. We're able to trace their history. We are able to see their financial sustainability and the sustainability of the company itself in general. So that's because of using our digital services that we have implemented. Also, we work with over 5,000 companies from other countries right now, as I told, mostly the suppliers. So basically, we have over 80 experts, employees of the group of companies, 80,000 employees of the group of companies, each one of them at some point involved in the process. But still, we have over 200 people here in the company in a joint venture, which is operating the iSource ecosystem. So basically, the business volume money-wise is over $30 billion. And when it comes down to international transactions, also we have been providing annually $4.1 billion every year. So we have experience of creating new supply chains. We have experience of managing the already created supply chains. And of course, we are capable of providing the expertise and the digital transparency of the whole process when it comes down to working with the Russian market. So when it comes down to the business processes, as I told before, basically iSource is a new service in the supply chain management. And of course, mostly it will be aimed on creating the export from Russia business processes. And of course, we're willing to open the Russian market to the world from the other side, right? So by doing that, we have to create this third party, we have to create this trustable partner here who will be interested in building a long-time partnership and will be able to provide the information that's needed to make a decision whether work with the Russian supplier or not. And of course, when it comes down to the process, so basically, first we get a demand from the consumer on what they want to buy here in Russia. It might be machinery, it might be oil and gas machinery, it might be some equipment, or we're not talking about oil and gas itself, we're not talking about the wood itself. Because it's not our main point of interest at the moment, but of course we'll be able to work on every demand that's going to be coming towards our company. But still, as I told, that we are mostly willing on building partnerships in all the segments, but the oil and gas itself. So the second, the next step of the process is basically the publication of the procurement procedure and receiving commercial offers from the market, and that process provides you the fair market price for sure, because always I know it from myself, from my own experience, that when some request from some company from, I would say, South Africa or from Austria or Germany, whatever, or Serbia arrives to the manufacturer or the supplier, they don't pay enough attention to this, and sometimes they put a little bit extra margin in the price. So we will be able to control that process. We'll be able to create the competitive environment within this procurement procedure. And of course, we'll be able to provide the fair market prices. And if we won't see the fair market price, of course, we will use our tools, including our administrative tools, to get the fair price, because we know the fair price, mostly at all the business areas. So because we have this huge database of the procurement procedures, we have the huge database of the prices and everything. So basically we will be able to get this fair price, and of course we'll provide the customer with the commercial offers, not just from one supplier, but probably from the couple of them, or maybe more. Now when it comes down to oil and gas machinery, last month we provided over 10 offers for our client from the survey. So basically this is something that helps the customer to get the expertise on the market. And of course we'll provide you with information. We will check the documents that the supplier provided, and of course we will give you our recommendations on which supplier is the best to choose. But still, when it comes down to picking the one, of course it's the decision on the consumer side. And of course, we will try to give our recommendations, but we are not willing to create some effect on the consumer's decision. So the second one, the next one is the production preparation for shipment. So basically, we'll be able, as I told, to provide you with our experts who will go to the production plant, who will do the inspection of every stage of the production process. Of course, we'll provide you with the production plan, and still we will mention the point of interest where we should be controlling the process. And of course, you will be able to use our digital service, our video chat, to see what's happening at the production plant with your own eyes and see on what stage of production process your equipment or your good is right now. So you'll be able to ask the questions. You'll be able to ask questions of inspector. You'll be able to ask questions of the producer and manufacturer representative, and also you'll be able to get this all information clear, so you will have your own instrument on controlling the quality of the equipment. The next is the delivery process. So basically here we are willing to use our own service, logistics service. So we have a huge experience on import and export logistics, because when it comes down to the Gazprom Neft and Gazprom group of companies, it's a pretty big group of companies having entities all over the world mostly. And that's why we have a huge experience of delivering the equipment, the goods, and to the place of destination. So we are willing to provide this service to Russian suppliers when it comes down to export logistics, because then we will have an instrument on controlling the process. We'll have an instrument to get quick information on the planning date of delivery. So you will be, and the customers will be well informed about what's happening with delivery at the moment and when it's expected. Or if there are some deviations, of course, there will be a possibility to work with them, because of course we will have full access to this process. Next is acceptance of goods and at the customer's place and incoming control. So basically we also provide the service if it's needed. Of course, every company, mostly every company has its own incoming control employees, but still we will be able to provide you with this service, so you'll have a full track of the process. But because if maybe something happens during the delivery, we'll be able to mention this and try to deal with this deviation. Storage, I've been talking about this, so we will be able to provide the storage places if it's needed at some point. Of course, not everywhere in the world, but still we have our own storages everywhere, in many places. So that's why we'll be able to provide this service in case it's needed. So basically, yes, as I told, and also we will provide the analytical activities. So basically all the reports, all the information on what's happening, what was the price, and you'll be able to get full report on how the work with the Russian market is moving. So what's the pricing, what's the total volume, what suppliers you've been working for, and everything stays in the system historically. So you will be able to go back to this, get this information from us, and then have a possibility to provide this to your partners, or maybe to the investors. So how to start working with NiSource? It's pretty simple. 5 steps, I'd say. So basically, first we had to get the request from the company with the company details. So at the second step, we'll be able to check the information, to check the sustainability of the company, because of course, when it comes down to working with the partners abroad, we also have to be trusting this partner, because when we work with a Russian supplier, of course, they will see in our side the third party, the trusted third party itself. So basically, we have to check the company, the consumer, the potential client from abroad to verify him. Then we basically sign a simple framework agreement form with the company. So it just opens the possibility of sending us the requests and getting this services. Second, you place the request for goods or services, and then you receive the best offers with the expertise on every supplier that provided that offer. And of course, then if everything is okay, we'll also be helping with our partners will be helping with all the contract work. Then if everything's okay, we work on the delivery terms, we organize the delivery, we organize the inspection if needed. Of course, if needed, we will of course advise this, because not for all the goods, not for all the equipment, this inspection, as I've been talking about, is very high needed, but still it's possible at some point. So we'll be able to provide the information whether it's needed or not for a certain demand. And you would ask, what's the price of the service? Because it's kind of look complete, but the price is zero. It's free of charge for the foreign clients, for the foreign consumers, because we truly understand when it comes down to exporting, of course, we'll have to create the environment, the trusted environment, the easy to accept environment for the foreign customers. And of course, we have to provide the fee, to the success fee to the supplier, because they get paid, they get money, so they're interested. And of course, we'll be able to get our commission from there. But the commission is usually, it depends on the volume, but the commission is not more than 2.5%. It depends on what service is included. It depends on what's the volume of the supplement, and it depends on the risks that we do have organizing this process. So yeah, that's it for me. Thank you. Ready to answer the questions, or if you will have some questions, additional questions, you can see our contacts here. My name is Stanislav Nikonov. Once again, I'm the managing director of the foreign economic activities of the joint stock company Digital Supply Services, and I work in two companies because it's our joint venture. I work also with the electronic trading platform of Gazprom Bank. So basically, we will be able to find the right services for everyone who wants to buy something or sell something. And of course, our contacts here. This is my cell phone number. I will be able to talk if it's needed. Thank you very much. Once again, thanks to all the organizing committee. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the attendance. Thank you for your time and the possibility to speak. Thanks.
Stanislav, thanks a lot for your presentation. Just one question. I would like to utilize my position of the co-program director. Am I correct in understanding that your services, that these ETP services, are can be provided for different products, different services, not related directly to what is the main in the name of your ETP, Gazprom Bank?
Yes, you truly understand that correctly. But of course, when it comes down to providing the goods, equipment, or machinery, we have to understand that the Russian market is not capable of everything, right? So of course, we will be able to organize everything because we've been working with all the business areas within the Russian Federation. So we have experience of basically supplying the spare parts for aircrafts, for Boeing and Airbus. So yeah, we have experience in mostly all the business areas because we're not concentrating at the gas and oil industry only. It's the place we started from, but of course we have experience, the 10 years experience of supplying different goods and services, of course.
Спасибо, Станислав.
Thank you. Спасибо большое.
Благодарю российских участников.
Thank you, Russian participants. And I give floor now to my co-chair, Mr. Mbele.
Thank you. This is very interesting. I'm following the questions that have been asked and the interactions. I think what is coming very strongly based on the comments in the chat groups is that indeed there's a need for a follow-up for some of these discussions because they're able to take us forward in terms of the work that we are doing. Let me invite one of the speakers who are going to be talking. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the company called Intel Hub South Africa, is Mr. Matibela Silepe. After Mr. Matibela Silepe will be followed by one of the speakers who's the CEO of Soluk Road P2 Ltd, Mr. Sandile Gwala. And then after that, I hope we still have time to take few questions, both from two questions for Russian companies and then 2 questions for South African companies, and then we wrap up. Let me invite Mr. Slepe to address us. Thank you.
Good morning, and let me recognize the presence of our Deputy Minister, Ms. Pinky Kekana, and the Minister from the Russian Federation, including even the team from the ambassador, and even the team from the business community from Russia. And I am the Chief Operations Officer from IntelliHub. And I think this is just the contents of what I'll be presenting on. But from our side, in terms of IntelliHub, it's a company that was established in 2013, and it is a B level 1 company that provides services in the ICT company. And our focus or our competencies are in providing ICT advisory services, innovative technologies, and managed services. Now, as IntelliHub, we are providing sort of your turnkey solution that would cover the areas that I've indicated, your ICT advisory, wherein we are looking at your strategic enterprise consulting, then look at the enterprise architecture or the enterprise or the architecture framework methodology, doing that part of the advisory services to our different clients, and even assist in terms of the design and the integration of the services. As part of our innovative technology, we are looking at security, safety and security solutions, communications and network services, then systems and applications. Then the next part that you're looking at, it's your smart services. Now, then on the managed services, I think we are providing services within your voice area. Then the other part is looking at your command and control services. Then we zoom into your cloud services. Then we have realized that there's quite a number of entities that are modernizing or trying to digitize their environment. And in some instances, they don't really want the permanent staff for them to do their modernization and all those other things. Now, in that cases, we come in to provide the human capital in terms of assisting them to digitize or to modernize their environment so that they are able to provide better services to their clients. And one of the other things that we're providing as part of your managed services, it's your service desk services there, wherein we are providing that management thereof. And then one of our key differentiator, it's in terms of providing the services. We believe in collaborative efforts as a company, collaborating with both your internal stakeholders in terms of providing services to our clients. And in cases wherein we don't have the internal competency, then we bring in the external partners who will assist in terms of us being able to provide the services to our clients. Now, as part of that, when we're doing your advisory services, I think we look at part of your business development, doing the assessment within an organization or a company or in government departments, and assist in terms of determining their requirements. Then thereafter move towards developing the solution to be able to close the gap between what they are having currently and where the organization wants to go. And then from there, identify possible partners who can come in to try and assist in with whether it's modernization, whether it's providing whatever services that our client will be looking at. Then ultimately, then you look at right at the end, once you have implemented, once you have the solution, how do you make sure that whatever system that you have implemented it's operational, you're taking care of the systems and making sure that it is always available. Then, like I indicated, in terms of the solutions that you're providing that talks to your advisory services, our strategic focus in terms of, or our approach in terms of providing the services or ICT services, I think it's more towards, if you look at our strategic focus, it's more towards your enterprise architecture. That just says, how do you look at the entire organization and come up with an architecture that would enable the entity to be able to deliver on its mandate. Then from there, look at what solutions will you come up with to be able to complement whatever, or to be able to fit into the architecture that the organization is looking at. Then right at the end, then you are looking at what technology needs to be deployed to be able to supplement whatever solutions that we are looking at. Now, in doing that, we're looking at things like your implementation of your strategy. We're looking at providing training, and because like in cases where some of our clients are doing the modernization, now there's a need to provide training and change management so that people are able to adapt to the new environment and are able to utilize the new technologies that have been delivered. And as part of that, in terms of the advice, we are providing the project management services just to make sure that in terms of the solution that we are delivering, it is delivered, I think it is delivered within the timeframes that are set and within budget, and deliver on the mandate that we have been given as an entity. I think those are part of our approach and our focus as the organization in terms of providing, when you are looking at the 10 key services that you are providing, especially when it comes to advisory services. Now, as part of that, in terms of, there's quite a number of technologies or partners that we work with in terms of providing our services. Now, in terms of your security, you can see that we playing into your CCTV environment. We're playing into the cyber security environment. Now, when you look at the communications and networking environment, there's quite a number of, we have both the complements of your wireless technology and your fixed or your core network routers that needs to be implemented so that one is able to realize a fully functional ICT solution to support the operations of any organization. Then comes again in terms of the systems that we look and the applications wherein we are looking at, say, your enterprise resource planning systems that talks to your Oracle, that talks to your Microsoft, that talks to your SAP, and the other part. I've seen the colleagues from Russia. I think they talk about that providing the systems that provide some sort of your business intelligence in terms of acquiring information and provide leads in terms of what needs to be done. I think those are some of the environment that we are looking at as IntelliHub. Then the other part that we're looking at, it's more on your smart solution that looks at your smart transport, your smart city, and making sure that your city is safe, and making sure that the citizens within, say, a certain municipality or, say, government departments are able to remotely access the services that are being provided. In some of the instances, I think these days I've seen quite a number of municipalities that are moving towards your smart meters, both for your electricity and for your for water, which is one of those areas that we're saying in coming up with a smart city. I think then it makes life much easier for both the municipality and for both the residents within the locality where the municipality is operating, so that we are able to provide or assist the municipality in providing whatever services that they need to be provided, but at the click of a button, or on people are able to access that even on their mobile handsets. Then the other area that we're providing, services that we're providing, it's in managed services. Now, with the managed services, we are saying that once we implement a solution, then there's a need to be able to manage whatever services that have been provided. We are able to make sure that whatever service that you are providing, it's always available. In that case, wherein you provide your help desk, that the system is all up and running, and then, like I indicated, you look at your service desk management services that says when your clients have issues with the system that you have implemented, then how do you come in, or how do you come in to provide that support and make sure that their system it's almost let me not say 100% available, say you're 99.999 available. I think it's where you bring in your managed services and making sure that your clients get whatever service that needs to be provided. And I think that's one of the areas that we coming in. Like we are indicating on the slide that says, as part of the supporting services that we are looking at, it still covers that whole stack. That starts in from your advisory, from your technology, that talks to your software, your hardware, and your licensing. And then we look at your system engineering services that make sure that we deliver the entire services and look after that the system that we would have delivered. Then from there, provide your program management services. Then ultimately, like we have spoken about, your change management system, which is critical in the implementation of any system, which is critical again when you're coming in to provide your managed services, so that people are able to adapt to the new way of providing services. And even in case wherein they have challenges with the system, they are able to know how they will log the calls and all those other things. And like I indicated, one of our key pillars in terms of providing the services, I think we believe in collaborative services. And we are saying from the presentation that we have picked up from the colleagues from Russia, I think there's a platform for us to look at that part of collaboration, looking at your safety and security, then looking at your wireless connectivity, and looking at your smart city solutions. And one of the other things that is coming up, that is becoming more critical, and we got that since I think that's one of maybe the good things that COVID brought as from on the ICT side in terms of your e-learning platform, and how do we provide support to the e-learning platform. And I've seen the colleagues from Russia, they are emphasizing that part too. And key, I think this would be more to the entire country as South Africa, that looks at your digital divide, that says how do we bridge the digital divide? How do we make sure that those that have been marginalized, those that have been out of in the periphery of the technology, how do you bring them up and make sure that they harness the potential that ICTs is bringing in terms of making sure that the people are able to do your remote studies, people are able to access whatever services that government provides, even if they are in the most remote rural areas. And I think one of the trends that we have seen in most companies or in most countries, you would find that most of the operators, they tend to do the cherry picking and look at the areas where they are able to make money. And in the outlying areas, they don't put some of your good technologies, some of your 5G technologies that you're talking about today. They put them mostly in your urban areas where they are able to make money, and put some sort of your inferior technology in your rural areas, which is something that we need to look at as part of this collaboration in terms of making sure that we touch almost all the corners of South Africa in terms of making sure that we are all connected. We are able to access government services wherever they are being provided. I've heard the colleagues were talking about your telemedicine, which comes as part of dealing with your issue of bridging the digital divide. That says you provide that service and make sure that your doctors are able to provide your remote services or provide service to your remote clinic and do those diagnoses and provide part of your prescriptions and all those other things. And that's one of the areas that as in Telehub, we are embracing And in some instances, we are providing even some of those services and support as part of our service offering within the organization. And as part of the collaborative partnership that we've got, I think we have managed to touch quite a number of entities. If you can see, we have the Financial Intelligence Center, where we are providing solution architecture services. Limpopo, we are part of the advisory in terms of the rollout of their broadband, assisting with the designs, assisting with their strategy, and the same applies to Joburg. And with Tshwane, we are assisting with their business process management. And those are some of our clients that we have managed to service in terms of us providing the services that I've indicated, that talks to your advisory services, that talks to your innovative solutions, and that talks to your managed services that we provide into our clients. And I think that's in brief who we are as IntelliHub, and even the possible collaboration opportunities that we have just identified as IntelliHub in terms of moving forward. Thanks.
Thank you for the presentation. Very informative in terms of the work that the team is doing, and we are grateful. We just want to suggest to people to write the questions in the Q&A tab, because we're looking at the time, we may not be able to address some of the issues, but all the questions will be attended. Without waste of time, let me invite the CEO of Solu Growth. It's a BPO ITO company, Mr. Sandile Gwala. I'm looking at the time, Mr. Gwala. It will be, I'll really appreciate if you may try to zoom into the key areas of focus, and then we can allow 1 or 2 questions, one for South African company, one for Russian company, to ask questions. I must say to everyone who's participating that we are reading your comments, and we will definitely respond to your questions. We'll really email you the presentations. Yeah, that's the work that we'll be doing. Let me invite Mr. Gwala without waste of time. Thank you, Mr. Gwala.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the opportunity, and thanks for the invitation. All protocol observed. I hope I'm audible enough for all colleagues, and welcome to our colleagues from Russia. It's quite a pleasure to speak to you. Chair, I will try, I only have a few comments to make. I will try to go as quickly as possible, looking at the amount of time. My intention today is not necessarily to introduce Solu Growth. I was asked to speak specifically around the value proposition that South Africa as a country provides in the area of what we call global business services. It is a subsector of ICT in South Africa, and it is one of the very growing opportunities for investment for global companies that have an interest to invest in South Africa, or that have an intention to invest utilizing South Africa as a springboard to provide shared services in various areas that I'll be talking about throughout the continent of Africa. And South Africa as government has created an opportunity to say, how do we support these companies that are coming from outside, whether it be from Europe, whether it be from Asia, whether it be from Australia, how do we support them and make sure that they create jobs in South Africa? I speak here as one of the private sector businesses. I am not working for government, but I am a beneficiary owning my own private company called Solu Growth. As you can see, I am a beneficiary that is able currently to provide in excess of 250 companies all over the world, delivering them out of South Africa. So Solu Growth is a global business services company that delivers to multiple clients around the world, but it is based in South Africa. When I was listening to some of my colleagues speaking earlier on, speaking about various technologies, speaking about various advances in the areas of procurement, in the areas of innovation, in the areas of cloud technologies, we provide these support business services based in South Africa, utilizing technology that is available to us. The areas that we focus in as solo growth is what is called back office services. So you will imagine front office services. We provide back office services, which include things like software and testing in the areas of IT outsourcing, provides things like financial reporting, whether it be IFRS or any other international accounting standards. We provide multiple payroll services, so you can be able to pay your employees regardless of what the legislation is in Ghana, in Uganda, in Tanzania. We will provide that shared service, and we've got great understanding of all those different legislation throughout the continent of Africa. So that is why we are saying we are able to service, as you can see on the screen, multiple clients out of South Africa. We are probably one of the smallest of the service providers who are able to do this. You will see in one of the screens that there are multiple companies that are coming from all over the world that have chosen South Africa as one of the great emerging dependable service delivery locations. Companies like IBM choose South Africa as one of the 7 locations to deliver their technology services out of South Africa. Companies like Accenture choose South Africa as one of the delivery locations that they will provide their multiple clients that are all over the world out of South Africa. And there are many other brands that have chosen from Amazon is one of the greatest successes that have just set up now in Cape Town, and they are providing all of these services out of South Africa. Why is South Africa so successful in the area of global business services? Number one, it is because we are getting very strong support from government, from policy to incentives that I will speak about in the next slide. We are getting great support as private entities that we are able to lower our cost. We are able to get appropriate infrastructure. We are able to go through even the COVID regulations that we have gone through over the last, I would say, over the last 18 months. In South Africa, we were supported very well as global business services. It was described and defined as one of the critical services that were able to continue servicing customers all over the world, even during the lockdown period. So I do believe that this strong government support that we get out of South Africa gives great opportunities for companies from Russia that would like to set up and provide their multiple clients that are available all over the world. The second one, it is because there is a very growing digital customer experience market in South Africa. The call centers, the business process services, the IT outsourcing, it is one of the fastest growing markets in South Africa, which then makes it quite easy to drive innovation, which it makes it easy to get skills out of South Africa. You will find that even tertiary institutions are able to provide skills because it's a very vibrant market that is already in existence. So if any of the Russian companies would like to set up and utilize South Africa as one of their delivery locations, you will find that you are finding a very mature and innovative market that you will be able to tap into. Lastly, if I look at what were the consequences of COVID-19 over the last 18 months, it actually turned out to be one of the opportunities that helped South Africa to demonstrate how resilient and how successful it can be in remote operating models. Success that we saw in terms of growth of new companies, like as I was talking about Amazon, that are set up in Cape Town. Most of these investors came even through during this period of the lockdown, which is really testament of how resilient and how great South Africa is able to support these remote and virtual operating models if you come to operate in South Africa. So in a nutshell, I would like to submit to you that South Africa does provide a great value proposition for any company that would like to find or choose one of the service delivery location out of Africa. The two other points I would like to add in terms of the value proposition. The first one is really around cost arbitrage. Most of the Russian companies that will locate some of their technology support, some of their business process support, and my colleague that was speaking just prior, previous presenter was speaking about managed services. This location of South Africa has really proven that most of the companies that come from Asia, that come from Northern America, that come from Europe, find South Africa as a serious cost arbitrage. We are able to service, particularly in the call center, we've been able to provide at least 65% cost savings in most of the locations. Obviously in the non-voice, it's a bit less, but it's still quite significant, over 60% cost savings that we have been able to deliver. As you saw in my previous slide, that even ourselves, we are able to provide non-voice solutions and we are able to save about 60%. So there is definitely cost arbitrage that you will get when you bring your services out of South Africa. One of my colleagues earlier on was speaking about procurement outsourcing that they are able to do out of Russia. If you were to compare that versus delivering a similar service out of South Africa, procurement outsourcing, you will find that there's a great opportunity to find multiple skills and expertise in the procurement outsourcing space, which kind of prove that there is a relationship that we can formulate with our Russian counterparts. The second thing that I would like to speak about, as I spoke about government support, is the incentive. There is a specific incentive for those companies that are interested to invest in South Africa. There is a specific incentives for global business services. So there are incentives in automotive, there are various incentives in various industries. Because this is a very vibrant and an opportunity to create jobs in the local market, government has set out a national GBS incentive program that any company that's set up in South Africa and provide services in the international market is able to participate in this GBS incentive program, and we can be able to provide through our Department of Trade and Industry further information in this GBS incentive. I won't speak about the kind of infrastructure that we've got to support digital and ICT, because I'm sure that our more eloquent colleagues have really spoken about the ICT infrastructure that is available in South Africa. But I just wanted to speak about the cost arbitrage advantage, as well as the incentive that is available to provide additional cost reduction for international companies that will choose South Africa as a location. In my last slide, Chair, I thought let me just speak about three things. Firstly, as you can see on my top left, there is a whole lot of other international companies that have utilized this incentive, that have chosen South Africa as a delivery location. And here are some of the brands that you can see. Some of the global companies that have come through have really proven why South Africa last year in 2020 was voted by global buyers as #1 destination for global business services, which is proving that it is not just concentrated in one city. You would see the multiple cities from Cape Town to Durban, Johannesburg, Pretoria in Swane, which are providing this kind of growth that we have been seeing over the last half a decade through this GBS market that is available in South Africa. Secondly, when you look at, is it not possible that markets like Philippines and now even India are getting saturated? South Africa is not reaching that tipping point already. Absolutely not. In actual fact, for South Africa, it's the total opposite, where the growth of supply of skills is currently higher than the number of jobs that are being created in the local market, which provides a lot of opportunities for multinational companies that if you were to set up now, you will find the kind of skills that are still freely available, cheaply available, and that are really that are more capable to support. And you can see the kind of domains that we are able to provide in South Africa. It is not just in the call center space, but even, I mean, if you look at the engineering, ICT, and science graduates that we are able to provide, this is just graduates from formal qualifications. There is a whole lot of others that are supported by what we call SETAs, that are education and training institutions that are formed by our Department of Higher Education in South Africa, supporting unemployed graduates, empowering them to be ready to be employable. So these are more than this 86,000 that is available. There are learnerships that are providing more thousands of graduates that you can be able to tap into in terms of expertise. The last thing that I would like to just summarize, looking at the various companies that have set up in South Africa, and say, what will be my chosen top 5 ICT investment stroke GBS investment opportunities that are available in South Africa? The first one that I've seen, obviously, as you can see in my heading of this slide, over 22% on average that we have seen in growth are companies, international companies that have set up in South Africa, utilizing South Africa as a delivery location, employing locally, and utilizing these skills to provide multinational expertise in the world. That is where the greatest opportunity is. The second one is to enable this GBS through the infrastructure that my colleagues were talking about earlier on. There are huge opportunities in the digital technology. Some of the companies now in Russia are very well advanced and experienced in digital technology. There is a lot of opportunities that you can assist the South African market to mature, bring maturity in the digital technology. There is still a huge opportunity when it comes to that. The third area of growth, which my colleague Matibela was talking about earlier on, there is still a huge growth opportunity of bridging the digital divide. Because of the past that we've got, there is still a lot of areas where infrastructure, connectivity infrastructure between what we see in urban areas and rural stroke township areas, there is still a lot of infrastructure, particularly companies that have got experience in providing ICT infrastructure. You will find that there are a lot of growth opportunities that you can still be able to play in. The fourth area that I can recommend for growth in the ICT stroke GBS is really the cloud services, kind of cloud security services. There are huge opportunities that we have started to see, simply because if I look at the growth in the financial services, there are a whole lot of opportunities that Russian companies can be able to come and set up in South Africa and provide cloud solutions as well as cloud security services. The last one that I will also recommend in the ICT space is on-demand content. There is, as we continue to employ more and more young people, the growth in the on-demand content demand market is growing rapidly. And there is a huge opportunity for those companies in Russia that would like to invest, not just in South Africa, as I said, but you'll be setting up yourself in South Africa to also grow into other parts of the continent, from Southern Africa to East Africa to West Africa, all the way to North Africa. So those will be the 5 areas that I will personally think they are providing growth opportunities for ICT companies that will like to invest in South Africa. So I think I will finish there, Chair, without necessarily going further. I hope I tried to rush it at the best that I could, and I will be willing to take any question if there are questions. Thank you. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Gwala. We are looking at the time and we're also looking at the number of participants. We are very strict on time because we have to respect time. We have noted the questions that have been raised. What we'll do as a team, we'll send the emails, respond to the questions. We'll also share the presentation that were presented today. Let me invite my colleague, Mr. Maxine, to do the closing remarks, and then, because now we're coming to the conclusion of our discussion, let me invite Mr. Maxine.
Сипхо, спасибо большое за возможность.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to summarize our work. I saw in many presentations then that many people asked to give questions.
На каждой из этих презентаций
Look at the questions relevant to Russian presenters and post questions directly to certain Russian companies. Their details are given in chat. I also would like to speak with our old friend. We are very respectful to all politicians in South Africa who are involved in organization of digitalization and introduction of ICT products. We have good experience and good examples how Russian IT products can be applied in South Africa. We have representatives of Russian companies, Kaspersky, 1S, and these products are on sale through local resellers. So maybe Russian participants can consider the similar road into South African market. Well, of course, there are many specific questions, and that proves huge interest to this topic. Maybe after the festive season will be over, maybe in January, we should have additional following up sessions, not related to presentations, but maybe discussions and giving questions, which we will not be allowed to cover during communication between interested parties. Nevertheless, I think our today's session was very successful. It was useful, and it will contribute towards development of trade cooperation between Russia and South Africa, especially in the field of ICT technologies. I'm grateful to all South African and Russian participants who gave us very good presentations. I am grateful to all the users who were part of our webinar, who watched our program on YouTube and other sources. Thank you for active participation. And of course, my deep, deep gratitude goes towards Progressive Business Forum for the really large work, preparational work which have been done to organize our current webinar, Sipho. My personal thanks, big thanks to Stefan, to my colleague Sergey. Your effort allowed us to have this seminar at a very high level. I would say a specific practical level. Today it is most important. Thank you very much.
On behalf of Progressive Business Forum, I would like to thank all our distinguished guests, both from South Africa and Russia, who have been readily available to attend and participate in this event. Indeed, your presentations were informative and were able to guide the discussions. We would like to thank the minister, the deputy minister in the president's, Honorable Ms. Kekane, and the ex-minister of digital communication from Russia, for their participation in our webinar. Clearly, as you have said, there's more engagements that we need. And I'm of the view that both the PBF and the Russian team will sit down and plan to have a follow-up discussions. There are a number of areas that we can able to work together, where both countries can able to benefit. Our thanks also goes to our attendants who participated in this webinar today, and for the issues that they've raised. We're excited that we had people who participated. And as we have said in our initial discussion, one of the areas that we want to do is to strengthen the relationship, is to see South African companies doing business in Russia, and also to see Russian companies doing business in South Africa. Just the last message, we like to invite businesses who are not subscribers of PBF to consider joining PBF, because there are more benefits being a subscriber of PBF. You can able to explore and promote your business. We also create an opportunities for your business to grow and to engage with the relevant stakeholders. In that note, let me officially declare these formalities closed today and thank everyone for participating. I thank you.